Good evening, YouTube. I am Darth Vicious, and this is my second spoiler-free review of Star Wars Rebels Season 3. I am calling this Episode 2, as I counted the 1 hour, 2-part season premiere as one episode. In this video, you will get my overall feelings on the episode, as well as my pros and cons, minus spoilers, as well as my final thoughts on the episode. Sit back and enjoy. Overall thoughts of the show. This episode of Rebels was good. I loved seeing the re-emergence of Maul for the first time since Twilight of the Apprentice. In the episode, the Force was the central plot point. There was not really any combat per se in this episode, but that didn't take away from my enjoyment of the show. The large creature endowed with the Force returned, and said creature seemed to help Kanan and Ezra reestablish their bond. The Ghost Crew was largely held back, but that did not bother me in the least. Certain items were largely the focus of this episode. Overall, I found this episode very pleasing to watch. I have some pros and cons to this episode, but I will keep them very vague. Spoilers will come tomorrow. With that in mind, let's get to my first pro. And my first pro was seeing Maul in this episode. It was good to see a familiar face and hear Sam Witwer's voice. My second pro was the certain creature that is helping Kanan returned. This time, Ezra got to meet it. There was some nice action in this episode. I'll get to that in my spoiler-filled review. And of course, my fourth pro was Kanan and Ezra showed a bond in this episode. My first con of the episode was seeing the Ghost Crew not doing anything important. My second con, Ezra showing off a little bit of his anger and perhaps some overconfidence and wanting to hunt for a certain item on his own. My third con, there was some misinformation given about two certain items in this episode. And my fourth con was Maul was being a manipulative prick in this episode and pushed it on Kanan. Spoilers tomorrow. Excuse me. So, final thoughts on this episode. After weighing the pros and cons of this episode, I am very happy with it. It was good to hear Sam Witwer again. Maul was up to his old tricks, and that made his appearance very satisfying. I love seeing the Force as the central focal point of this episode. Once again, Kanan proved he could reach Ezra when it was most needed, and there's something about friendship that overcomes deceit. Having said all that, thanks to everyone who viewed my last few videos. You guys are amazing. Those of you who support my channel are my fellow Jedi and Sith friends. You are my Brotherhood of the Force. You are my reasons for doing these videos. Continue to support Darth Vicious and help to build the Brotherhood of the Force. In closing, this has been Darth Vicious bringing you another spoiler-free review of Star Wars Rebels. Please join me Wednesday for the first episode of the Brotherhood of the Force in over a month. We will be discussing the first two episodes of Star Wars Rebels Season 3. I will be giving predictions for Episode 3. Also, I will be discussing predictions for the next Rogue One trailer, which is coming out real soon. I will be discussing my thoughts on the novel A New Dawn, as well as the 4-part Servants of the Empire series, centered around Zara Leonis. If you have any questions for me to answer on the Brotherhood of the Force, of course, tweet me at Alan216Dempsey. I will answer them on Wednesday. May the Force be with you. Be on the lookout for my spoiler-filled review tomorrow. See you then, and have a great night.